My credit score had gone from an 800 to about a 380. I'm now back on the uphill swing at about a 685 a year after discharge. And next year I'll be sitting at about a 770, applying the same principles. And people were like, Reike, you have gone through hell. And then to throw another loop at me, I had a brain surgery in May this year, May of 2025. And I've been headhunted by investors to turn their distressed properties around for them.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Reike Plecas, is a mortgage broker and residential investor in Iowa, including in the historic Riverbend 6th Avenue corridor of northern Des Moines. Reike, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you on here. We chat quite a bit before hopping on here, and we were talking about a number of different topics, and you've got really a diverse range of experience. In addition to real estate, you were a flight attendant. You also own several companies. Before we dive into everything that you've got going on in Des Moines, I want to ask you, how you got into real estate.
My mother used to work in the medical industry, the financial side of it, and she always dabbled in commercial real estate herself. And so I guess it's kind of in my blood. And so I bought my first POS, basically, if we're going to keep it kind, for $17,000 in 1993. And I put $35,000 into it, and boom, it caught fire. And so my mother loaned me $54,000 to rehab it. And it's when the market kind of went to the pot. And so I rented it out at a great loss for about 5 years. And then I got rid of that tenant because of unforeseen circumstances in her life. And I rented it out again at $2,000 a month. So I did that for like 10 years. And then I sold it for 188. So I made sure that I made back my investment and paid my mother back the mortgage loan that she created. And then I sold it at a great profit. I bought another one. And so I just started buying up distressed single family homes and applying what I knew in the mortgage industry. And I used to be in the third party arena called collection agencies. We made a finer term called we work in accounting. But my ex-wife and I used to own 3 collection agencies. And so I applied what I knew from credit and collections and the banking mortgage industry to put together a model that made sense to create a very lucrative business model and platform for myself, but also leave it as a legacy for my 2 children.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
I want to ask you about that first property that you got into. Were you at that point in time doing real estate full time? Did you have the collections agencies? What was your day-to-day like at that point?
It was the collection industry and residential lending.
Okay. So you were focused in two different spaces. The lending space, you're giving people their money to buy properties. In the other space, you might be chasing people down for what they did not pay someone else. At that point, when you were acquiring these properties, they were single-family homes, I'm assuming. Were you spending a lot of time looking on market, off market, working with wholesalers? Were you calling, distressed leads yourself?
I did not work with a wholesaler at all. I knew the wholesale side of the industry, being in the mortgage brokerage arena, on prime and subprime, and I just wanted to cut out any middleman. And I had dabbled with getting my real estate license at that time, but I just had too much on my plate. And so I would drive by a property, look at it, and see a diamond in the rough and say, I'm going to buy that property. And I kind of applied a biblical principle that I am a king's kid and that I own everything on the side of the hill, including cattle. And so I would set out to buy that property, and I would make an offer that they wouldn't refuse unless they just wanted to die in that property. And so that's how I bought them. And then I rehabbed them. I made sure that I had a 3-year return on investment through renting it out.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into it. And then from there, I bought a 10-plex, I bought a duplex, and I just kind of followed what my mom did in creating a book of business for myself while working a 40-hour, 90 to 110-hour a week career.
I want to ask you specifically about balancing that. That's not an easy feat, and it deters a lot of people, right? So you're talking about multiple single-family properties as well as small multifamily, and having to deal with the tenants and the potential churn, all the issues that come with renting these deals out. While you were still very much focused on 2 other businesses, what was the day-to-day like? And were there times where it was overwhelming? How did you manage the properties while also being involved in 2 other businesses?
I never rented to a friend, a family member, or an acquaintance. Just wasn't going to work. In the collection arena, my mother raised us saying you get more with honey than you do vinegar. So I trained my staff that they would apply the same principle, so that if you had a $8,000 medical bill, you work with that person with arrangements, and you review those arrangements every 6 months, and you increase them by 8 to 10% each year. And then I decided, God, I'm also in banking. I'm going to send out a mailer with every collection done notice saying, need a mortgage now? Let us show you how. And so people started contacting me in the mortgage arena. And at that time, I was straight commission. And I just started writing loans like this in the subprime market. And so I started dealing with real estate agents that I knew. And then I was like, God, if I could do this in the mortgage side and the collection side, then I'm going to do this for myself. And so I really started hopping in full-fledged, finding those distressed properties that I wanted to acquire, and rehab. And I made some mistakes. I hired people I knew to do the rehab, and they saw the big picture and they took advantage of me. So I stopped hiring people that I knew. And I turned to Facebook Marketplace. Thank you, Zuckerberg. And looking for, and I'll just tell you, ex-cons that knew how to make their own trade. They just knew how to make a hustle. And so if they knew how to lay tile, if they knew how to sling a 2x4 and do framing, if they knew how to re-roof a house, I hired them. They deserved to make a living. They were I could judge them whether or not they were doing well or not, because I had already done this and I had seen new startups, new frame ups, being in the mortgage side, working with builders and such, that I was applying the same principle.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And so I was actually able to start working with ex-cons and help supply them a really good living in doing so. And then, throw in another towel, I had a pastor who served at the pen, and we're not talking about the White House. However, he did come to work for the White House. He hired me as a consultant for a nonprofit in Jacksonville, Florida, to raise money and raise goods to create a transitional living quarters for men coming out of incarceration. So I worked with, it was called Noah's Ark in Jacksonville, Florida, contacting businesses, local philanthropists, and colleges to create this. I think they were 28 beds at the time, transitional living quarter. And then I was hired in Chicago for the same type of thing. It was called Project Hood, helping others obtain destiny. And so my mind shift was changed from the collection arena to helping nonprofits with their startup and their philanthropy, their fundraising. Then I was headhunted by Ben Carson for president. And so I was like, man, why am I doing a 9 to 5, 9 to midnight career and start working in my own book of business and working for nonprofits? And so I was going through a divorce, and my mindset was shifted from helping you make money to me making money to them making money in the nonprofit industry. And so that's when I said I could do this for myself. And then a couple of years back, unfortunately, my mother, my father, my brother all passed away within 6 months of each other. And I was thrown this book of business, and my brother's children, his children, who's my nephews, they're his children, his offspring, they didn't want him working in the industry. They didn't want me to manage the industry. So I said, okay, I washed my hands of it. We hired a third party estate executor, and we were taken advantage of greatly. And he turned my brother's kids against me. And what was a great empire for the middle class was stripped from all three of us. And I was thrown a bone, and I didn't know what to do. And so I had to apply my day-to-day principles from the collection industry, from the banking industry, from real estate, and how to save what was left for myself and for my children. And so I had to file Chapter 13 bankruptcy to get an automatic stay in place, because he had squandered my mother's estate. He had mismanaged, or you can say embezzled, that estate. And I had to save my properties from foreclosure with a bankruptcy. And so I did that. And so now 5 years later, to throw me into today, I qualified for a loan to pay off that bankruptcy, get it discharged. My credit score had gone from an 800 to about a 380. I'm now back on the uphill swing at about a 685 a year after discharge. And next year I'll be sitting at about a 770, applying the same principles. And people were like, Reike, you have gone through hell. And then to throw another loop at me, I had a brain surgery in May this year, May of 2025. And I've been headhunted by investors to turn their distressed properties around for them. So I'm back into a 9 to 5, but I still have my own real estate at the same time. And I just thank God every day for grace and for trust for some really great investors that have seen the big picture, that they are allowing me to turn their properties around.
I want to ask you about something you mentioned when you were talking about the intersection between collections and mortgage. Um, you had mentioned when people had paid off their collections, sending out mailers. Were you then providing them mortgages after basically they were leads? Is that accurate?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
They were leads. I didn't write their mortgages. My team did, because that was a
No.
conflict of interest for me.
Okay.
So I handed those mortgages off to my team. And of course, when I met quota, I made more money. And I had divulged the information to the bank that I was working for, and I wrote basically a non-disclosure with them that I would not underwrite, not influence those decision-making skills. It was all based off of my mortgage originators, and they had to work. They had to tell people, look, once we get you this mortgage loan, do not go out and buy a new car before we close. Don't buy all new furniture before we close. And it was really a mind shift that I was actually written up in the Des Moines Business Record years and years ago. I want to say 1995. The collection agent who's educating consumers to par down debt. And so I had to educate my mortgage originators in that mindset that not only are we helping them par down debt, we're helping them get into the American dream, to get into a home, getting into their first investment property. And so I got a lot of kudos for that. And I've just enjoyed it so much that this is where I am. And I applied the principles of my grandparents, my immigrant grandparents, that I'm kind of like a farmer. I put my hands to the plow and I just don't look back. And I dealt with morbid obesity my entire life. And I always used to have this motto: I may be fat, but I'm not lazy. Well, now I've lost 176 pounds over the last 3-4 years. And I'm not fat and I'm still not lazy. So whatever I put my mindset to, I'm going to make sure that I achieve it.
It's an incredible story. There's so much to unpack there. I am actually very intrigued on that intersection between the distressed credit, right? And then on the rebound. And then also you've experienced it yourself. So it's interesting. It almost came full circle in a way. We are coming up on time here, though. Where can folks go to learn more about what you've got going on in Des Moines, or reach out to you? How can folks get in contact with you?
I am found on LinkedIn. There's actually 2 LinkedIn pages for Reike, Reike Plecas. One is from my flight attendant career. The other one is from my real estate portfolio. One of my biggest things that was really a good 5-star behind my name was last year, the investment group that I worked for, I afforded an opportunity to 230 doors that my partner and I were able to give away 1,000 toys at Christmas to international kids. There was 11 different languages spoke of that property. So if they go to my Reike Plecas LinkedIn page for real estate, they'll see a news clip from the local news stations that we were the dynamic duo giving away toys at Christmas. And I just love whatever I put my hand to, and I want to make sure that it comes to fruition.
Reike, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.